math for 6th grade. This is lesson 135 and 136. I'm trying to combine the lessons for the day since this is all for Thursday's work. So we're going to take a look at both pages 243 and 244, and then 245 and 246. And I will let you know which exercises to do from those. If you would like to do more than that, or your parents would like you to do more than that, then you're more than welcome to. But we're going to start off with some review of our formulas. So first off, what is this formula? Okay, this is the circumference of a circle using the radius. Okay, so specifically using the radius, that's the circumference of the circle. What about this one? Now, A tells you that it's area. It's the area of a triangle. Hope you got that. What about this one? It's perimeter of a triangle as well, because think of it, that's A plus B plus C, 3 sides of a triangle. If you got that and I didn't need to go over it, that's okay. What about this one? Perimeter of a square. Okay, so it's got 4 sides that are equal. This one. Area of a square. Okay, so some of these I know I didn't mix them up really, but that's okay because we're just reviewing. I kind of messed up on the addition sign there, so it's supposed to say 2 times L plus 2 times W. That's perimeter of a rectangle. And this one is area of a rectangle. What about this one? That's area of a parallelogram. And this one? Area of a circle. Now, we only have one formula for area of a circle, okay? And this one is area of a parallelogram, because it pretty much is the same as the rectangle. And then this one we haven't done yet. Circumference of a circle using diameter, okay? So we'll go over those again, but that was our first look at that. So we have, the first page is a general review, so I'm going to go over a couple things that are on that. So one of these 12 is what percent of 40? Just review on how to do these. So if we have 12 over here, and then we have the word is, remember that means equals, okay? And our question mark is there because what percent is right there? All right, I'm gonna keep knocking off my eraser, okay? And then of over here means times. So what times 40 is equal to 12? The easiest way to do this problem is actually to look at the equals as we would do the opposite of multiply. We're going to do divide. We're going to divide. And if we're going to divide, the easiest way for this is actually to put 12 over 40. Okay? And then we're going to reduce this fraction, and we will see what percentage we can get. All right. My sweater keeps knocking off the eraser, but that was normal when you were in the class too. So, all right, so dividing this, we can divide them both by 4. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. 40 divided by 4 is 10, okay? Now we have 3/10, and what percent is 3/10? That should be easy, but if it's not, it's 30%. So anything over 10, a single digit over 10 is that plus 0%, so 30%. So we add 3, and we'll put a 0 on it, because we do remember when we make we turn it into a decimal first and it's 0.3, and then we change it to percentage and it would be 30%, okay? The other thing that we're gonna look at for this page is this rounding that you find on the bottom of the back of this page. So when we round, we round to the tenths, hundredths, and thousandths with decimals, okay, are the ones that we're gonna round to for this. So if we round to the 10th place, what are we gonna look at? Okay, so we're gonna look at the 8 because the 8 is in the 10th place. I'm gonna make that decimal a little more defined for the video. The 8 is in the 10th place, and so we look at the one next to it to see if 8 is gonna stay the same or go up. It's a 4. Does 4 make the 8 go up or stay the same? It stays the same because 4 is less than 5, okay? So this one, to be the 10th place, to round to the 10th place, we would have 7.8, and everything after it turns to zeros. Okay, but we don't need to put all of those zeros in the answer, but if it helps you to put them in, it's okay. They're not necessary though, okay? If we round this to the hundredths place, so that would be where the 4 is sitting, right? So we're gonna look at the 2. Does the 2 make the 4 go up or stay the same? We keep our numbers before that the same, 7.8. The 2 makes the 4 stay the same because 2 is less than 5. So it would be 7.84, and then these last ones would be zeros, okay? The last place we're gonna look at is the thousandths place, okay? So we're gonna look at the 9. Does the 9 make the 2 go up or stay the same? We're gonna keep these numbers the same, right? The 9 makes it go up to 3, right? And then the last 2 would be zeros, if you're gonna add the zeros, okay? But this would be 7.8, 7.84, and 7.843. Remember, when we're rounding, we always go back to the original number, not to what we've rounded, because if we had changed any of these numbers, we would have the wrong number there, okay? So on this general review page, I'm gonna just go through what I want you to do, and so mark these, and then we're going to look at the next page. So in the first section, I'm gonna have you do all of them. You're just measuring the angles, okay? So 1, you're gonna do all. 2, I want you to do A and C. So 2 of those, A and C. We're gonna do 3. I'm gonna do 3 on the board after I've explained the second page. Number 4, or section 4, I want you to pick 1 of those to do. Section 5, I want to turn over the page. Section 5, I want you to pick 2 of them to do. And then section 6 through 10 in the review, pick 2 from each section to do. Section 11 is just the divisibility, so do all of that because it'll be super simple. You're just putting the check mark if it's divisible by 2, if it's divisible by 3. And then in number 12, you can pick 1 of the 2 to do for the rounding, okay? All right, so we're gonna look at the order of operations. And this is the new stuff that we're learning. In our formulas that we've been doing, if we have, let me find the formula for, yes, okay, so in area of a circle, okay, area of a circle, it's pi times r squared. We have to simplify the r squared first before we can multiply by the 3.14, correct? I'm gonna erase that so we have, make sure I have enough room for everything. Okay. The reason that we do that is because there's actually a rule that says we have to simplify. First of all, the very first thing, if you're looking at the top of your page, it says simplify within parentheses first. Now, there aren't any parentheses, so we don't need to worry about that. The second thing that it says is to simplify powers. There's your power, okay? So 2 squared, cubed would be to the 3rd power, or sometimes you would have to a 4th power or a 5th power, and it gets more complicated as you go on. But we have to do that first because that's our second step. So first is we look for any parentheses, we do those first. Then we simplify the powers. So we multiply our R by itself. So if this R in your example was no, the example doesn't say that. If it was 5 inches, we would multiply 5 times 5, and we would get 25. Okay, before we'd multiply, then we multiply 25 times pi. So we simplify within parentheses first, and then we simplify our powers, and then we start from left to right, and we do multiplication and division in the order that they come from left to right. And then we go back and we do addition and subtraction in the order that they come. So if there's a division that comes before a multiplication, you do that one first, and then you do your multiplication, and then you can, and then any other division or multiplication in that. And then you're gonna go back to the beginning and you do any addition or subtraction. And same thing, you could do a subtraction before an addition if it comes first, in the order that they come. So we're going to do a few of these on the board just to show you how that works, okay? We're going to start with this one here because it's the one that is just parentheses, okay, that we see. We have the parentheses 3 plus 4, okay? Now, we wouldn't want to multiply by 6 first, because which number would we multiply by? If we multiplied by 3, we'd get 18, and 18 plus 4 would get us 22. So I'm gonna put 22 up here, and we're gonna look and see what the difference would be if we add this first, okay? So first of all, I bring down everything that I'm not using yet, okay? This is the same method as when we have these formulas. We use the same method. We just bring things down and you funnel it to get one number is what we do with this. The order of operations shows you that at the top, okay? So 6 times, and then 3 plus 4 is what? It's 7, okay? Now we don't have parentheses anymore. We don't need parentheses. 6 times 7 is 42. Now, is 42 different than 22? Yes, it is. So that is why it's important to follow the order of operations, okay? You have parentheses, powers, multiply, divide, addition, subtraction. That's the order it goes in, and it's every single time, okay? So 42 would be the answer to that one. Now over here, we have a few more things that we would do with this one. So 15 divided by 2 times 3 times 8. 2 plus 3, I think I said times, okay? So first of all, what's our first step? It would be the parentheses. So 2 plus 3 is what? I'm gonna bring this down, 15 divided by 5, and then times 8, okay? Now we want to make sure that we do these in order. We start here at the left. 15 divided by 5. The divided side does not. Those dots just don't show up so well on the screen unless I make them really big. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. And then we do times 8. and 3 times 8 is 24, okay? If we had multiplied 5 times 8, we would get 40, and 15, you can't divide 15 divided by 40 because it would not, you would be getting a decimal, and that's not the point of this one, okay? All right, this one, not the last one, but the last of these, and then we're gonna do what is in the second section is squaring the fractions. But this one, we have 54 divided by 3 squared, okay? Make those dots bigger for you to see, okay? We're gonna have to do our power first, right? So 3 squared means what? 3 times 3, right? Which gives us 9, okay? And now we have 54 divided by 9. And we don't even have anything else that we have to worry about figuring out. We can just do 54 divided by 9, and that gets us 6, okay? So that is how to do the order of operations. Remember, parentheses, powers, multiply, divide, addition, subtraction, okay? Those are the steps, the simplifying the order of operations that you should follow every single time. And the ones that you're going to do on the page, you're going to have to be able to see, okay, which one do I do first? So if there's a subtraction first and then a multiplication, you multiply first and then you subtract, okay? So make sure you're doing those in the right order. The other thing is when it has a fraction that we're squaring, okay? So 2/3 squared is 2/3 times 2/3, okay? So we're gonna multiply the top together. 2 times 2 gets us 4. And then 3 times 3 gets us 9. And 2/3 squared is 4/9, okay? And that is the lowest terms. We don't need to simplify that one. And so, and in fact, on all of these, there won't be any need to simplify. Okay, so for your page, since we have gone over this and I've given you what to do on the first page, this page, I'm gonna have you circle all of number 1. So that's our new stuff, so we wanna make sure that we get to know these order of operations really well. Number 2, you're gonna do all of these as well because this is, and in fact, this is the very first one on that set, so I've done that for you, so you can write that one down. And so you're gonna do the rest. And you're gonna do all of number 3, is just the one drawing that angle and bisecting it with the compass. Now, in section 4, you only have to do A, okay? Only have to do A. And then on the back, section 5, pick 3 to do. Section 6, go ahead and do that. That one is pretty simple. It looks like it's long, but it really is just dividing the budget there for $50 every 2 weeks. And then number 7, section 7, pick 4 of them to do. And section 8, also pick 4. So if you have that marked for your page, the last thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna go back and do the circle graph on the general review page. So 6 of the first 10 presidents of the United States were born in Virginia, 2 in Massachusetts, 1 in South Carolina, and 1 in New York. Okay, so we construct our angles. That eraser keeps jumping, I'm sure of it. Okay, we're going to construct the angles that are less than 180 degrees first, and then the one that is left over will be the angle that's more than 180. And first of all, so we've got the six out of the first 10 presidents. That sounds like a fraction, right? 6 out of 10. There you go, we've got 6/10. And then 2 of them, so 6 out of 10 were born in Virginia, 2 out of 10 were born in Massachusetts, and 1 out of 10 were born in South Carolina, and 1 out of 10 were born in New York. So we don't have to redo the 1/10. We can do that one time, and then we'll know that we've got 2 of them that are for that. So first of all, we've got our percentages, right? So 6 over 10 gives us 60. These ones, they made really simple for you. So this was 60. And then 2 over 10 is 20%. And then 1 over 10 is 10%, okay? And so you've got 2 of the 10%, 1 of the 60%, and 1 of the 20%. And to figure out your degrees that you're gonna make this, you're going to go ahead and multiply by how many degrees are in a circle. So you're gonna multiply 60%. And we can drop the 0 from the percent one, so you can do 0.6 times 360, and 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 3 plus 3, 21. And we put our decimal. And we have something wrong. Okay. Let's see. Oh, no, we don't. 216 degrees. I'm sorry. 216 degrees is the correct one. That one is bigger than 180. That's the one that's going to be left over. I forgot what I was, that was what happened. And so we're going to multiply again for the 20%. 0.2, 2 times 0, 2, 2 times 6, 12, 2 times 3 plus 1 is 7. But our decimal, so this one is going to be 72 degrees, okay? And then for the last one, we're going to multiply by 0.1, which gets us 36 degrees. So you're going to have two angles in your circle graph that are 36 degrees, one of them that's 72, and then what is left over will be a 216 degree angle. And so you would then label these. Your first, you label your graph, because remember when we do a graph, we did a graph here. There's our center point. You would say, you could call it birth, states of first 10 presidents, okay? And so then for this, roughly it should look like this, okay? So 72 degree angle is a little more like that. And then your 2 that are 36 should look something like that. So this would be your, you would label this with the percentage and the state name, and that's all you would need to do. So this would be the 10%, and this would be 20%, and this would be 60%, and then you can fill in the labels. So do this, but I've given you, we worked through the problems together to help you with that. But go ahead and finish up the pages and do your best, and we'll see you next time.